1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, we welcome you in. The new drug today is the last day before vacay.
Nice.
You know that?
Yeah. What you got planned?
Well, next week we're actually going to Newport, Rhode Island.
Been there before? Or is this new?
Suzanne has been for a day or two with her sister, but we have not been. But It's supposed to be fantastic right there on the water. Liam Cohen's from there.
Oh, that's
I
right.
told Liam about it. We were at a function together a few weeks back, and he said, you're going to love it. And Kai Stevens, who the Jaguar reporter, who's wonderful, by the way, knows it like the back of her hand. She's so kind. She sent Suzanne and me more restaurants, bars, experiences to do that you can imagine.
That's
so,
great.
So Matt Hayes was saying he went there. He's been in Newport when the old Big East meetings were there. Big East Media Days, and Matt had been to all of them, obviously, and he said it's fantastic. So yeah, we're going to go there. We're flying up early Sunday. We're going to be there most of the week.
Awesome.
Get back after that. The highs are 65.
Oh,
the lows are 55. You know my wife.
Yeah, you guys want to beat the heat.
She is a big beat the heat person. So
Yeah.
and it's so we're looking forward to it.
Good. Well, I
But
hope you
I
have
may hang out a little bit, play a little golf until I get there. So yeah, a little getaway.
a lot of fun.
You and Hacker have it under control.
We'll try.
Do you need any advice? You need
Yeah, how
advice?
do you do this?
Do you need any advice? No, it's not that. Dealing with Hacker. Do you need?
No. We're tight now. I mean,
Yeah,
I feel like we
yeah.
could go win the World Tag Team Championship.
I think you could. And JJ, if Hacker gets out of line, you're in charge. Okay, don't let that happen.
Absolutely.
Okay?
JJ's our manager. He's like Bobby the Brain.
I'll
Heenan.
kick Hacker's ass.
He's sort of the sergeant of arms.
Yeah.
You got to have a sergeant at arms, and so that comes up. All right, a lot of things to do today on the program. My friend Mike Fleming will be here from Fire Watch. We love it when Mike stops by. Certainly to talk about things that are important to the folks in the military, and certainly they've made a big impact. As you know, Hayes, you and I, we've had Mike in a number of times, and before the military holidays, we always try to bring Mike in here just to remind people of how they can help. I think it's a terrific thing. Memorial Day is right around the corner, so Mike Fleming will join us momentarily. Brigadier General Mike Fleming, and he's certainly a good dude, and we're certainly excited about that. Matthew Driscoll was at the press conference today, very emotional press conference, as you might have imagined, and I'm glad I was able to stop by there and hear him talk. Nick Morrow as well. They've announced, as you know, Bobby Kinnan, the new interim coach, at least for a year. So certainly it was a good day today, and certainly and very emotional for Matthew. I think he's earned the right to be emotional. I think that was okay, and it was an emotional time. His wife was there as well, so we'll certainly talk about that. I heard you talk about it and the handoff as well. So a lot of things to get to. All kind of fun stuff we're going to get to today on the program. I got a thought or two. I got a thought about the NBA playoffs and the opportunity, really for Jalen Brunson. He's in New York. Do you know where the other three teams that are still playing, their market sizes?
Oof.
Take a crack at Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Take
I'll
a
say,
shot in the dark. By the way, New York's one, in case you're wondering.
Right.
Okay.
Minneapolis. I'll say 22.
Okay. Minneapolis, Indianapolis, Oklahoma City. You said
Indianapolis. I'll say is 19th.
okay.
And what was the
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City. I'll say Oklahoma City is 38.
You're very close. You're right. You're right around. Minneapolis is 16. Indianapolis is 25. And Oklahoma City is 47. So you're generally right. You got a pretty good idea where they all are. Meaning, if there's ever a chance to be the star of the NBA finals, conference finals, and finals, if there's ever a chance, you're in the market. You know, that doesn't mean Tyrese Halliburton or Gilgeous-Alexander or Edwards aren't big stars. But until they get to the market you're in, they're not in the market. You know, this would be, you know what I mean? Jalen Brunson has the opportunity. He's already a great player. You don't become a better player. But I would imagine even people like you and me that aren't big NBA players, NBA fans, are going to kind of lock in. I think market size matters in terms of your image and your recognizability. So given all that, I think it's a great opportunity for him. I guess that's the point.
Without a doubt. I mean, whoever is the superstar that leads the Knicks out of their world title drought will be an icon instantly. I mean, the Knicks in my lifetime have really been one of the more underachieving mega franchises. The Jets would be maybe top that list.
Yep.
But the Knicks would be right there. And so if Jalen Brunson, if they're able to, win this series against Indiana and then, win the title, I think Jalen Brunson would be, one of the biggest icons in New York sports history, particularly since didn't he take less money to make the team more competitive around him, which you never see. So, I mean, I think for a multitude of reasons, if Brunson's the one that leads the Knicks to that coveted championship that they haven't tasted in so long, I mean, I think Jalen Brunson will be doing commercials when he's 60.
Yeah, and he's got the look and feel and pizzazz to him. You know, his dad was an NBA player, so it'll be interesting. So we'll certainly talk about that coming up on the. All right, we've got a wide range of things. Hey, JJ, when it's over, like 5 years from now, okay? Will Mookie Betts? ESPN had a great story today.
I saw that crap.
Will Mookie Betts be more remembered? Hang on. Will Mookie Betts be more remembered than Mike Trout? More remembered.
Yeah, but that's not what they asked.
No, but that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, because he plays in L.A., he played for Boston, he won a World Series. He's probably already more well-known than Mike Trout.
That's kind of the story. Yeah, I don't think Mookie Betts is a better player than Mike Trout, but that's not where I'm going. I'm just thinking Mike Trout, now that he's hurt a lot, and now his career is going to end, I think, with nobody in the mainstream really appreciating what he was. You agree with that, JJ? Is that Is that a fair?
That's beyond fair. I mean, the guy's only played in one playoff series, I think, and that was maybe his first couple years in the league, and he played for the Angels. So, yeah, unless you have MLB the package and then you're staying up till 1 a.m. to watch Angels games, you really couldn't appreciate Mike Trout for what he was.
Yeah,
and it's sad that I'm using that in that tense because it seems like it's a wrap.
Well, he's 32, so there's time.
One playoff hit.
Yeah,
one hit. That's in the playoffs.
By the way, you said it way more succinctly. He's got one postseason hit, one base hit in the post, and it's and by the way, JJ, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't he have a chance? He was a free agent. He re-upped, right? He re-upped with the Angels.
Yeah, that was probably like 4 or 5 years ago.
I mean, he re-upped, and good for him for loyalty. But
people thought he would come back home to the Phillies. That was a big talking point for a while.
He's from New Jersey and he's close to Philadelphia. But he probably should have, I guess is the point.
Yeah, probably.
He should have. I mean.
Ohtani did. Ohtani took his opportunity to leave.
And didn't even have to change homes.
Right.
But, I mean, I just think that.
He was trying to be like too good of a guy, I think. Yeah. And, I'm comfortable here and they drafted me and all this stuff. But, yeah, it really looks like a bad decision in hindsight.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. I mean,
he turns 34 in August.
I thought it was 33. Is it 34?
Well, he's 33 now.
He's 33 now. Okay.
Yeah, so but he's closer to 34 than having just turned 33.
Yeah.
So
it'll just be. I just think it's no matter what sport it is. The comparison I will give you, and it changed because he had two sons who turned out to be really good players, so he came back to the forefront. But the comparison's Archie Manning. Okay, now again, all people know now is Archie Manning is Peyton and Eli's dad. Okay, but before he was Peyton and Eli's dad, he was this wonderful player that was on this terrible Saints team forever. And then what? Did he finish up with the Oilers maybe?
But was he the best player in the league for 10 years?
No, he wasn't. But he was.
But he was the lead.
But he was a really good player.
Yeah.
And he was a really good player that. But I mean, I even wonder, even the great quarterbacks, if they'd have never found their way to a good team back in the day, would we have ever known who they were? I mean, Warren Moon. I mean, but Archie Manning was and you're right, he wasn't the best player in football. You're a good point. But the point is, he was really good. That was invisible forever. If Archie Manning had not had two sons, that we wouldn't know his name right now.
He would be, I would say, similar to like the legacy of Stabler won. Yeah. So, but that you know what I mean? Like right. Kenny Stabler, great player, and he did win. He had team success, but it also feels like, and he was, the snake and had all this, mojo and when he played, but you don't hear his name mentioned much now.
Well, and Stabler won it with moxie and guile. Archie Manning had a cannon.
Right.
Yeah, he was a big, strong, big-armed guy. So anyway, so the whole Mike Trout thing got me – that story today got me thinking about, are we going to look up and nobody even knew him?
It's sad.
Yeah,
because I love Mike Trout.
Can you put a guy in as a first ballot Hall of Famer because obviously his regular season it would be
in
easily.
baseball, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially
postseason stats really don't. They're not like other sports. Like the ring talk is like such a basketball and quarterback thing.
But I mean, we're not even talking ring. We're talking about a guy that might finish his career with one hit in the postseason.
Yeah, but can one guy make that much of a difference in baseball to bring your team to a playoff berth? No.
But it's a fair question. People are going to ask that question.
Well,
has there ever been a player?
He will be a first ballot.
Yeah, because his numbers, his accomplishments will be so. He's already got 3 MVPs.
Yeah, I get it.
But I hear the question,
and I would vote for him.
But I
get
the
first ballot Hall of Fame.
But I
am curious how many people in the Hall of Fame have one or fewer postseason hits.
Yeah, probably not very many. So we'll get to that later on. It's a fun conversation. We'll certainly talk about that coming up later on. My Jaguar question today is: we've talked about what we think of the Jags. What does America think? Well, what before I get out of here on vacation, I want to get what do you think? Don't answer it now, but what do we think the world thinks of the 2025 Jaguars? If they did a power poll today, would they be 22nd? Would they be 15th? Would they be 28th? So let's and why do they think what they do? I think that's going to be kind of a fun topic. So we got a lot of fun. So we're going to get to a lot of stuff today. I did see the latest I saw that someone tweeted out that Alex Condon now is expected to go between 37 and 42.
Well, that would be.
Well, then get it over with for crying out loud, Alex. Okay, Can you do it before I go on vacation? Am I asking too much? Get it over with, Alex. So we got a lot of fun stuff.
We're 48 minutes away from the Friday news dump, so we'll see.
Although
this is something you'd want to celebrate, so
absolutely.
I'm not sure you'd release Condon returning to Florida at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
All right, so we got a lot of fun stuff to do. We're glad you're with us. I want to thank my friends from Big Chief Tire. Always a Big Chief Tire Friday. You know that by now. 5 locations here on the First Coast. There's the newest one is in Orange Park. There are 2 on the west side, the north side, the south side. If you want brakes, automotive service, oil changes, you name it, they do a great job. And I'm telling you, nobody does a better job than my friends at Big Chief Tire. Over 60 years now, and they're a Jacksonville-based company that you really can trust. Always a Big Chief Tire Friday around here. Let's say hello to Brigadier General Mike Fleming. Talk a little bit about the things that Firewatch is doing to make a difference in some very important lives. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
May is Military Appreciation Month, and Nimnik proudly salutes the brave men and women who serve and have served this country. As a thank you, they're offering an additional $750 off select new Chevrolets, and every vehicle purchased at Nimnik supports K9s for Warriors. So from all the folks at Nimnik, thank you for service and sacrifice. It's also truck season at Nimnik. Did you know that? This month you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 0%. That's right, 0% financing. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnik Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnik. Available now, the all-new Silverado EV, designed to go the difference. So you get the deal. It's truck season. All kind of trucks available. And in May, we celebrate the military. That's what's going on at Nimnik. Head there today. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Tall, dark, handsome, athletic, ladies' man, sharp dresser.
That must be what we're looking for.
Yeah, none of that.
Can you just back up a little bit?
Ryan the Hacker Green.
So that will be what you call bluffing.
Weeknights on Jack Sports Radio, 1010XL.
Buying a diamond, wedding band, or piece of fashion jewelry in Jacksonville? You have 2 choices. You can go to locally owned Beard's Diamonds, or you can go to one of those mega national chain jewelry stores. The national chains are pretty much all the same. In fact, did you know that some of them are owned by the same conglomerate? Yes, the same Wall Street company owns all the big names. So if you're looking for extreme value with genuine personal attention, come experience the Beard's Diamond difference. At Beard's, our diamonds come straight from the source. We hand select each one for maximum brilliance. We don't have to apply corporate markups and tack on salespeople commissions, so we beat the chains on price every single day. Beards has the strongest warranties, not gotcha clauses in fine print. Beards has all the top designers, including Tacori and Viraggio. Beards doesn't have out-of-state regional managers calling about sales quotas. We are all local, family-owned with total freedom to do what's right for our customers. Beards Diamonds, all the selection, quality, value, and service you want from local people, accountable only to you. Beards in the St. John's Town Center.
Hey folks, Frank Frangie here reminding you the 4th annual Dailies Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic is right around the corner. We sure appreciate our friends at Dailies, always making it possible, and appreciate so many of you who have played over the years. Well, this year, we're back at Deer Creek Country Club Monday, June 9th at 9 a.m. with tons of prizes, auction items, and an awful lot of fun. You'll even meet some of our young walk-off players. Just go to walkoffcharities.com for more information. Can't wait to see you on June 9th at the Dailies Walk-Off Charities Golf Classic.
David Lane here, and once again, I'm happy to share news of my success with back and knee surgeries at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist. Whatever it is that's bothering you, take it from me. Simply set an appointment today at Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and let them help you get back to normal life. I'm certainly glad I did.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
A chipped windshield can turn into a big problem fast. Lauren Brooks here. Trust Novus Glass of Jacksonville for expert repair and replacement. Call 904-289-2905 for Novus Glass in Orange Park. 904-289-2905.
Need a fast casual option that's healthy, fresh, and delicious? Choose the Great Greek Mediterranean Grill. Gyros, salads, hummus, and more made completely fresh right as you order. Off 210 in St. John's Parkway. The Great Greek Mediterranean Grill.
Share your voice anytime on the 1010XL text line.
Are you serious?
Installed by Lifetime Flooring.
I gotta say, you're totally blowing my mind right now.
If you can't call or email, text us. 641-1010.
Tired of a plain and boring backyard? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop choice to beautify your home. With pavers, stonework, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces, pergolas, and driveways. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
A lot goes into taking care of your property. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors to get the job done right, Z Series mowers that deliver a quality cut, and Sidekick utility vehicles where durability meets speed. Visit Coastal Equipment for a demo today.
Greater power for the great outdoors. Coastal Equipment.
Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in the clinic.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, Green for Life.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
And we welcome you back. We thank our friends from Big Chief Tire. 5 locations in town. Tires, automotive service, oil changes, alignment, and again, oh, by the way, tires. They're the best tires around. You can trust them. You can trust the local company to get it right. Frank Frangie and Hayes Carlyon with you, JJ La Selva as well. Monday is Memorial Day, and that's the day we thank and celebrate those who lost their lives, made the ultimate sacrifice to defend our country. And when we get close to a holiday like that, we're always honored to bring in my friend Mike Fleming, Brigadier General Mike Fleming, who's done so much with so many different military entities, including Firewatch, which certainly speaks to veteran suicide. Mike, it's always great to have you with us. How are you?
Hey, this is great, Frank. Thanks both to Hayes and you for having me on.
I never take for granted that people know or listen to the last time show or whatnot. So explain in synopsis how Firewatch was started and the impact it's made on the military community?
Yeah, as most people know, we have a challenge with veteran suicide, and the estimates are anything between 18 to 22 veterans we lose of all eras every day.
Every day.
Which is a real tragedy. And I remember the first time I gave you that statistic, and you were just overwhelmed by
Almost
it.
fell out of my chair. I remember the day. I remember the conversation we had.
Yeah, and so we still should be. And so in 2019, we looked and said, okay, what can we do differently? Rory Diamond, who was a city councilman, he was CEO of Canines for Warriors at the time, said we can do different. So Firewatch was formed by the 5 counties in Northeast Florida committed to ending veteran suicide. And so we started a lot of different programs. We've now migrated from that, and we're the Firewatch Project, a 501c3, which was the plan, is to take this and do more with it. And it's really, Firewatch is addressing veteran suicide primarily through a concept of we don't have enough veterans to keep veterans from committing suicide, or we already would have solved the problem. And what we want to do is we say we engage the 90% of people who never served but have a good feeling for the military. And so we created the Watchstander program, which is to train watchstanders, and it's about an hour's worth of training on our thefirewatch.org website. And we've trained over 9,000 watchstanders, which is fantastic. And we do one of the other things. We said, is that making a difference? And it's interesting. We have a company that we utilize, and they did an analysis. And for those 9,000 watchstanders, they're estimating in a year they have over 11,000 referrals. Because what we want is we want people engaged with veterans in their lives, but also if you see a challenge or something, get them to services, get them to resources. We have many great resources here in Northeast Florida and across the United States.
And this weekend in particular is got to be one in which it's hard. I mean, it can be very, very hard. Absolutely.
Yeah, there are many, people who have lost their lives. I mean, we had, wars for many years, unfortunately. And, there's still family members with holes in their lives when they've lost their service member. And we've all lost members of our family, friends, and it never changes. And then sometimes, frankly, there's a bitterness about it that something could have been done differently to prevent a life being lost. And so what we want to make sure is we engage the veterans, and we engage the veterans. I mean, it's great. This is great. The 3 of us have veteran friends and everything. Hopefully people will listen. But what we want to do, I want to challenge people to take Memorial Day weekend, take an hour to become a watchstander, but as importantly, reach out to 5 of your veteran friends. In other words, saying thank you for your service because you see somebody in uniform, that's nice. But if you really want to have an impact, think about the veterans in your life and how you can impact them. Just reach out. Maybe they're doing great. That's fantastic. But reach out and be part of their lives.
Mike, and this might not be it's probably not a very intelligent question, and I hope I phrased it right, because there's not a black and white answer, and I know that. But you've been in this so long now. What is the general cause? There's not a general cause. What are among the causes that cause a veteran to not think there's any more answers? Is it not being able to find a job? Is it not acclimating to society? I'm sure it's all of the above, but as you parse those, break those apart a little bit, what do you see the most?
That's a great question, Frank. I would say a lot of times, I'm going to give you some, not in particular order.
Yeah.
One of the biggest challenges is when someone transitions out of the military, because you're in a particular way of living. You've gotten used to it. You've got a lot of friends. Normally there's camaraderie. You've heard me talk about before, I'm both a Marine and a soldier, but when I went through Parris Island, the first thing they do, they don't let you say the word I. They say the private, because they want to get you out of the thought of you're an individual. No, you're part of a team. So if you can imagine, you're part of a team, and then now you're being separated from that team. And so you can feel isolation. You can feel like, I can't get a job. I can't get a job equivalent with what I feel like I can do. So, it ends up being isolation sometimes. Sometimes there's some challenges with families in a transition out of the military. So you have, I would say isolation is the number one thing. And that's why, again, if you can get people engaged within your sphere of influence with your veterans, that's going to really attack that isolation.
Yeah, I really get that, Hayes, because as I'm hearing Mike say that, you're part of the team. Well, if you're part of a sports team, you're part of that team until you go home that night. You're part of that team. If you're part of a team at work that's working on a project, you're there until the weekend where you're playing golf with your Saturday golf group. But I got to believe if you're in the military, and I'm not talking from a piece of experience, I've never been in the military, you're never not on that team.
Right.
That team, you're on that team, right, Mike? You're on the team the whole time until you're no longer in the military, and then you're not.
That's right.
And that does speak to the concerns of isolation of what now, right?
Right. And it can be an abrupt change. I mean, some people end up with a transition that's really effective, some not. So it just depends. And so that's why when we talk about the challenge of veteran suicide, don't think of the big numbers. We lose 18 individuals or 22 individuals a day who have stories, who have families, who have neighbors, who could have a support group if they were. And it won't always be the veteran saying, "Hey, Frank, I have problems," or "Can you help me?" But if all of a sudden I'm no longer playing golf every Saturday like I've done for 5 years, or I'm not interested in going to movies or something, and I'm not myself, the fact that I was in the military or a general, it's really relevant. If you're my friend, you owe it to me to ask me, "Hey, Mike, what's going on?" And that's all we're asking people to do. That's what the Watchstander training does. It makes you comfortable kind of learning about the military, but we want you to be proactive in talking with your veterans.
You talked to us about engaging with faith leaders. Can you elaborate on that?
Absolutely. Earlier this week at the Cohen Clinic here in Jacksonville, we hosted faith leader training. And, veterans, by and large, don't go to the military installations, to the chapels, because they're just in the community. And many of us turn to our faith leaders. And this is any faith. You've got people going to churches and synagogues and mosques and things. And so what we want to do is we want faith leaders to have an understanding of the military. It's always a little bit like Watchstander training. So twice a year we provide training for that. And then on the Firewatch page, we specifically have a faith leader resource page. So I'd ask our faith leaders who are involved, and this is not just the lead pastor or the lead rabbi. This is the person who does, youth pastor or something like that, because today we have people who are whose families affected. I mean, we've got Navy bases here. They go on deployments. They're gone now. So this is not something far in the past. This is happening now. And so, we want the faith leaders really to understand the military and then also to know what the resources are. Because, again, we're very fortunate. We have so many resources. We got the VA. Of course, we got the Cohen Clinic here. We got Wounded Warrior Project is headquartered here. We got Canines for Warriors, Operation Uniform. We have so many great ones. But it's useless unless the veteran goes to that resource.
And because you've brought in representatives from some of those other operations. I remember we had a guest from Canines for Warriors when we were at Strings the last time together.
Absolutely. Yep.
So part of what you do, if I understand correctly, is maybe direct the veteran to one of those services that can help them the best, right?
Absolutely. We term it kind of a veterans ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the same attitude is you're part of a team. We really feel like in the veteran community. I mean, the Stephen A. Cohen Military Family Clinic at Centerstone here does terrific work with outpatient mental health. But they depend on other organizations to maybe have employment challenges or housing, and that's why we work with that. Harrison Conyers in the city of Jacksonville, the military department there is fantastic. They have people there, and they don't do it all in the city because they depend on that. We have Mission United. We have all kind of different organizations, and we all recognize, I think, to be effective, if the Cohen Clinic does great outpatient mental health and concentrates on that, then when other organizations are needed, you do that. So everybody doesn't have to be everything, and what we can do is work together for the veterans.
You mentioned the website, thefirewatch.org, but you guys also have an app now. Is that new? I don't remember that.
Yeah, we have an app, and you can look at that and go on the app and see that. So we're really just trying to expand as much as we can for that. But again, to me, it's take the time to be involved with your veterans. This Firewatch training, an hour, you can find an hour over Memorial Day weekend, and then reach out to 5-year veterans because, it's great that people appreciate the military by and large. People think military service is an honorable profession. But what we need now is people to take action and get off the sidelines and help veterans in their lives.
My final question, Mike Fleming with us, Brigadier General Mike Fleming, who's so involved in the Firewatch program. And I've wondered this before. I haven't asked this, but I'm going to ask it now. You've had such an accomplished military career, and you've done various arms of it. You talked to various branches of the military, but beyond that, in the finance community, in the academic community with JU, involved with the chamber. Yeah, you're really leaning into the suicide prevention. I mean, I see it in your face every time we do this. That one got your attention. It almost seems like, I'm not going to say more than the others, but certainly right now, why? Because have you seen real bad experiences?
Yeah.
Is that a fair question?
Absolutely. And I'll give you an example. I want to say it was 2006. I was the Assistant Adjutant General for the Florida Army National Guard, and we lost a soldier to suicide who had come back from Iraq. And I remember feeling just completely helpless because he had been in a VA care, and not criticizing VA, but he'd been in mental health. We'd done some things, but it was like, okay, what more can we do? And allegedly, when you become a general, you kind of know something, right? But I felt helpless. And then I started thinking about really mental health. And you've heard me talk about it. Mm-hmm. You're like radioactive. You talk about mental health. Physical health is we're all about how many push-ups or how fast can you run.
You're right.
But radioactive in civilian world too. And so I'm really, passionate about mental health because some of the challenges our veterans are facing could have been small problems solved 10, 15 years ago. And so I want to talk about that because I've had individual counseling and marriage counseling, been married 40 plus years to an angel. So, I mean, all that's great. I don't think I'd been where I am without that counseling. And so I think the more we, take the stigma out and just make it a regular conversation. Same way, if you hurt your ankle, you're going to the doctor.
Yeah, that's right.
Same way if you're not feeling right.
TheFirewatch.org. Become a watch standard. You can make a difference in someone's life that certainly has defended our country somewhere along the line. Mike Fleming, our Brigadier General friend. Love having you in here. Thanks for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys.
Back in a moment. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
In your car or out of your car.
Get me out of this car.
Take 1010XL with you wherever you go.
We're online and ready.
By downloading our free 1010XL app. Available for all smartphones and tablets.
It's Work Zone Awareness Week, Florida. Every year, lives are lost in work zones because of speeding and distractions. When you see orange cones, remember, slow down, follow the signs, and stay focused. Workers are counting on you to get home safely, and so are their families. Let's work together to prevent crashes and save lives. A safety reminder from the Florida Department of Transportation. Slow your roll. Safety's the goal.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Are you ready to step up to luxury?
Check out the power of our exciting 2025 lineup, including the Lyric, IQ, Optique, and the stunning Visti.
With over 15 electric Cadillacs in stock and more on the way, it's the perfect time to trade in your Tesla and embrace luxury with a twist.
At Randy Marion, there are no tariffs. Visit Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville, and see why our electric lineup turns heads.
Don't miss out. Drive Cadillac, electric or gas. We have both. Plus tax tag title $9.99 admin fee and resistol on approved credit.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Mia O'Brien is going to be the first woman president of the United States of America.
Catch me weekdays from noon to 2 on Helmets and Heels.
And she could run later this year even, and I would vote for her.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota on 1010XL.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. You hear my buddies Dan and Jeff talk about that great food at Daly's Dash all the time. Jeff loves that Duval, and Dan loves the Boss. And they're right, both are terrific. But I can tell you they have so many excellent options at Daly's Dash. Salads and flatbreads and tacos and quesadillas, you name it. And of course, those fantastic subs and sandwiches. I just had the Italian sub. It is so good. The thing is, Daly's Dash is really committed to their food and committed to making it perfect for you. Everything is fresh, made to order every time. And there's so many Daly's locations in town, no matter where you are, there's one near you. I love to pop in and grab a sub at lunch, or maybe after a round of golf, or maybe even after calling one of those Jags games. There's never a bad time to stop into Daly's Dash and grab that great, great food. So head there today. Take it from Dan and Jeff, or take it from me. They say it's nicer here. It really is. And the food is delicious. Head to Daly's Dash today.
Interested in a unique date night? Gibby here. I took my wife Nikki to Wick a Candle Bar. She made her own custom candle right there in the store. Shop local at Wick a Candle Bar. Locations in San Marco and Jacks Beach.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Attention poker enthusiasts, get ready for unbeatable action at Best Bet with locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and St. Augustine. Dive into the excitement with $500 high hands every Friday and $1,000 high hands every Saturday. And save the dates for May's table game giveaways. $300 every 20 minutes on select Fridays and Saturdays. Want in on the action? Visit bestbetjacks.com for all the details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey there, Jacksonville. With scorching temperatures just around the corner, it's crucial to ensure your AC is blowing nice and cool. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is here to keep you comfortable all summer long. But don't wait until the heat gets here. Our service techs are ready right now to handle any cooling issues you may have at your home or business. Call Duck Duck AC today at 904-862-6769 to schedule. That's 904-862-6769. Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Online at duckduckac.com.
Hello, this is Father Nicholas Lowe, and I want to talk to you about not being afraid of the crosses of life. Life can be difficult. Maybe today you're carrying a cross of worry or stress. Let me encourage you to remember that when Christ got on the big cross at Golgotha, he destroyed all the little crosses that we face in our life. He set us free from fear, worry, and anxiety. Our job is not to be carried by the cross, but to be carried by our faith.
For more inspiration, log on to stjohnthedivine.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now back to a Big Chief Tire Friday on The Frangie Show. Big Chief Tire. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Frank Frangie, Hayes Carline, JJ LaSelva with you. Thanks again to our friends at Big Chief Tire Company, over 60 years. Something's wrong with your car, that's the place to start, man. Boy, they do a good job. And those tires, you can trust them. You can trust the Parman family. I promise you that. Head to Big Chief Tire for all your automotive needs. We're talking with Mike Fleming kind of during the break. If you're in our industry, in this market, man, it has been an off season of stories, hasn't it? I mean, we were just thinking about this. It started, football season ends. Okay, the coach gets fired the day after. Even all the rumors were it was going to happen. You didn't know for sure. The day after the coach gets fired. Coaching search begins. We watch the coaching search. Not long after, the GM gets fired. Okay? Then the new coach gets hired. Then the executive vice president, our friend Tony Baselli, gets hired. Now they got to go hire a general manager. So they hire a general manager. So the next thing, this has been a really, really active period, more active than an offseason necessarily would be for an NFL team, because the paradigm has changed. The culture's changed. It's certainly a rebirth of sorts, right? This all happens. Then you blink, and here comes the Players' Championship. And in the Players' Championship, it's one of the most memorable ones ever because Rory McIlroy, a guy who's one of the great players of all time, wins in dramatic fashion. Don't blink. Because, oh, by the way, as soon as that happens, the Florida Gators make this run in college basketball. They win the whole thing. Not this cute little Sweet 16 run. Man, they almost made the Elite Eight. They win the whole thing. They win the national championship. That thing's still got legs. A week or two later, Rory wins the Masters. I mean, think about this. Let's calm down for a second. Oh, wait a minute. The Jaguars are making the biggest move in the NFL draft, the most talked about first-round trade in a long time. They sacrificed next year's 1 and this year's 2 to go get the most unique unicorn in the NFL in decades. Okay, that happens. Even now, Matthew Driscoll leaves, a guy that has been an institution here, a 16-year institution here, and now I'm going on vacation. I mean, if you think about it, from January 5th or whenever the NFL season ended to Memorial Day, it has been this local sports scene, the sports that we cover around. Who knows what I missed, by the way? I just hit the highlights in this sports scene that we cover on this first coast of ours. Been crazy busy, hasn't it been an amazing news cycle for kind of all of us who do this?
Well, we were owed after October, November, and December, at least on the Jaguars. Because there wasn't a lot of meaningful football played once they opened the way they opened. But yeah, it's been one of the most remarkable Jaguar off seasons probably ever. And there have been a lot of big other stories that certainly we're going to pay close attention to that have followed. I mean, again, they signed 11 free agents.
Right.
Totally remade their offensive line.
Yeah, the total remake of the Jaguars.
Yeah.
In the same year, the Gators win a national championship in basketball. I mean, it is just in the same year that we have probably one of the more memorable Players' Championships in a litany of memorable ones. It's just been a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I love it, by the way.
It's been a fantastic start to 2025, and hopefully we're just getting warmed up.
Yeah, but it's been a crazy, crazy time.
If Shad Khan had retained Doug Peterson and Trent Baalke, I don't know what this last 3 or 4 months would have looked like in terms of just the black cloud that would have hung over our programming, the fan base. I mean, trying to get, and then let's say they then take like Mason Graham at 5 or whoever, Harmon or whatever, whoever it would have been. If it was Baalke and Peterson here, it's striking because it has been a really fun first 5 months of the year, and it could have been dreadful, just like the regular season was. So and hopefully we don't have to go through that anymore. Hopefully they've gotten it right. Obviously we are just sort of seeing the picture start to emerge, so we've got a long way to go, but it's encouraging so far.
Yeah, there's been a lot of storylines to follow to the Jaguars. What does America expect?
I think a bad team.
Bad, middle of the pack, or bad?
I think bad. I mean, most of the power rankings that I've seen, I think Pete might have had them the highest I've seen at like 21. Most I've seen as low as like 28, 29.
What would their predicted record be? I
think of the people that actually go through and do it, and not just local people. Yeah, not just throw out a lot of national guys. I think they just throw out a number. Yeah. I think they'll go 5-12. Well, go through it. I mean, you've got to go through the games and then come up with it, because I think when you again look at their schedule, it's going to be like North Carolina football. I think when you look at the Jaguars' schedule, there's more wins on there than maybe what the national person might think just on how they've been and things like that. But yeah, nationally, they're not going to have a lot of buzz. There'll be a lot of Travis Hunter buzz. Like that will be a massive storyline. Like week 1 against Carolina, like if he does something on both sides of the ball, Sunday Night Football is going to do a big portion of their recap of the day will be Travis Hunter, regardless of the Jaguars win or lose the game. But certainly if he contributes in a big way to a victory, that's going to be a big part of the NFL coverage on a national level. But I don't think there's a lot of buzz. I think that they hired a first-time head coach, so I don't think anybody around the nation. I don't think that blew anybody's doors off.
I agree.
And and I think Trevor Lawrence is now viewed nationally as just sort of an average quarterback that has the potential to be better than that, but that's sort of what he's been so far. So I also think nationally, no one thinks about the AFC South. Like I think Houston, Indianapolis, and Tennessee would tell you the same thing. Like if you were to ask them, what nationally do people think of you? I think the first answer would be, well, they really don't. It's the other divisions that have way more cachet, have elite teams. So I think in general the division isn't talked about a lot. It's got to earn that. But yeah, I'd be shocked if you look at a power poll that's going to have the Jaguars in the top 16 in this league. I think they absolutely will end up becoming that this season. But I think that no one is going to project that. They're going to have to go out and do it on a national level.
Yeah, I
don't think they're going to have very many believers.
Yeah, I agree. And listen, over these last many years of not playing well, they've earned that, right? You got to earn. There's some franchises in sports or programs in college sports that you just assume they're going to get their way to. They're going to find their way to 8, 9, or 10 wins if it's football, 84, 85 wins if it's baseball, or whatever, and then way better if they're good. College programs, there's a lot of college programs you feel they're going to find their way to the 8 wins, and then if they're good like usual, it'll be 10 or 11, right? And the Jags have not been that team, and I think that stays with you. But I get a hunch that when all the national folks start doing their prognostications, I'll bet you see, because there's still some people that think there might be something there, because people kind of know the Travis Hunter thing and Brian Thomas Jr., and I'll bet you see more 7 and 8 win predictions than you see 3 and 4 win predictions.
Oh, I don't think you'll see a lot of 3 and 4.
That's my point.
You're
going to see that on some teams.
They're over under 7.5.
Oh, so. Yeah, that's right. The over and under 7.5, and I think that's where you're going to. I mean, there's a lot of teams that the over and under is going to be 5. And so yeah, my expectation. It'll be interesting to see how America. Again, you're not going to believe in the Jags until you see the Jags do it, and that's the Jags' fault. Because they haven't been. More than that over the years. So it'll, if nothing else, it'll be fun to watch, that part.
I think they're going to overachieve compared to what the nation thinks, and I would go over on the 7.5 win total. But my guess is most projections will have them coming under that, whether it's 6 and 11, 7 and 10. I think you'll see a pretty good split among the Colts and the Jaguars for second place in the AFC South. I would imagine 90% of analysts that do predictions will have Houston winning their 3rd straight division title.
Agreed.
And then I think you'll see a split of who's second. Is it Indianapolis? Is it Jacksonville? And then I think the vast majority of people will predict the Titans to finish in the cellar. But yeah, I mean, it's, and the other thing too is Houston might be 1 in most people's divisional predictions, but they also could be 13th in the power rankings. I mean, it's just not a good division. And again, sometimes you'll see Houston as like the 8th team in a power poll. I'm like, how could you possibly justify that? I mean, they've had a terrible offseason. And if they were in pretty much any other division other than this one, they'd be a complete afterthought. So I definitely think the division's there for the taking. But, the Jaguars have to be functional. I think they will be. And traditionally, when the Jaguars have been all sort of rowing in the same direction with talent, they've produced and had big-time seasons. Well, I don't think the harmony of this structure is going to get disrupted anytime soon. I mean, I think what Baselli and Gladstone and Cohen have built in these first few months, I think is sustainable, at least for this season. And I think it's sustainable long-term, but certainly this season. So everybody is going to be pulling in the same direction here, which hasn't happened in a long time. And, I think that's going to make a difference because I don't think they have like an elite talented roster, but I think they have a roster certainly talented enough to go win 10, 11 games in this division and make the tournament.
All right. And so more NFL talk coming up. Pete Briscoe joined us in about 10 minutes. Before that, I want to make a quick thought about this guy, Jalen Brunson. JJ, how big of a star can he be, or is he? Your opinion?
He's not a star.
He averaged 28. He averaged almost 30 a game.
Okay. He's not a star. Yeah. I would never say that about Jalen. He's also one of the hardest players to watch. That's also the thing about SGA. Like, those two, they're never going to be people really hate them online. You know, all they do is draw fouls, and they live at the free throw line. But if you win with the Knicks, you're going to be a star in New York.
Yeah.
But Jalen Brunson's never going to be a household name in anyone, you know, like for the average Joe.
Right. Who are the great Knicks of all time? Ewing's the most recent one. But other than Ewing, has there been a great recent Knick?
Was Bradley?
Carmelo.
Oh, recent?
Carmelo.
I guess. I mean, Carmelo's a great player. But I mean,
Carmelo had a way better career than Brunson's had.
Yeah, you're right. And he played, a number of teams. You're right. But I mean, if I think of the greatest Knicks.
They haven't won the world title since 1973.
Yeah. They haven't even been in the Eastern Conference Finals
I don't care
in 25
what kind of style
years.
Jalen Brunson has.
Right.
I don't care if people online don't like the way he plays.
Yeah.
They haven't won the title since 73.
Okay, well,
if Jalen Brunson wins the championship this tournament, he will be a New York icon until the day he passes away.
New York icon.
Yeah. I'm not splitting hairs here. I'm just saying the fact is that, and you said that once in 73, to me, the great Knicks are Willis Reed, Walt Frazier, Earl Monroe, Dick Barnett, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, whoever was in the 60s and 70s. Those were great Knick teams. I don't know that they've had Patrick Ewing was a wonderful player. Starks is the guy I remember the most from those teams, from the more recent Knicks teams. So I guess whether you're right, whether he's looked at as one of the stars of the league or not, in a New York market that is still the market in the world, that he could. This is a real opportunity, I guess. That's you could really be on top of the world here. If all of a sudden, there's only 4 teams left playing.
Right.
And if he could win, if they win the NBA title, he'll lead. This dude he averaged 26 points this year. He averaged 28.7 last year. And again, I don't follow it close enough to appreciate him probably like I should. But boy, that's a bunch. That's kind of the point.
Without a doubt. And again, it doesn't matter. The Knicks are so starved for a title.
Yeah.
The whole team will be icons.
Yeah.
Brunson will be the leader, but that whole team is going to have a reverence to it that I don't think we can really comprehend.
Luckily,
again,
we won't have to worry about
they
it.
haven't.
OKC is going to kick their ass, and they might not even get out of this round.
They've
probably
already given up
swept.
home court to Indiana. So, tonight's a
huge
gargantuan night for the Knicks. But if they're able to do it, then, to me, it would be right up there with the Red Sox breaking the curse. They haven't won this thing in over 50 years. In the biggest market, in one of the easiest sports to go grab superstars.
And in a basketball city, really.
Right.
I'm trying to think. As I look back.
The Giants aren't great now, but the New York Giants have had a lot of championships in the last 40 years.
Yeah, and they've won 3 since 1990. So they have, right. They won in 07 and 11. The Yankees had that stretch in the 90s where they were the best team by far in baseball.
It's really the Jets and the Mets.
Yeah,
and the Knicks.
Yeah, the Rangers won in 94. Yeah, and I noticed, I'm looking it up, not because I have this memory. The Islanders they were really good in the early 80s when they were winning all the titles. They won 3 or 4 in a row in the early 80s. But of late, there hasn't been much. There's not been a title in 15 years.
And basketball that's the hardest one to defend because you just would think, can't you first off, can't you draft somebody?
Right.
But even beyond that, every year you got to think there's free agents wanting to go there. So
yeah, the Knicks have been playing that. Hey, let's wait till a superstar is upset and he'll want to come here. They've been relying on that for 25 years, and it just never happened.
Yeah, so all these stories.
They got Brunson right.
Yeah, and that's the one. That
and now we'll see. I'm kind of I don't watch it as close as you guys do, but
watch as close as I do.
He's not a top 20
player
player in the league.
I know that they had a huge lead on Indiana the other night, and I don't think they're going to get past the Pacers.
Yeah.
And I would agree with JJ. If they do get past the Pacers, on the little bit I've seen OKC, I think they will destroy the Knicks.
Isn't it wild how Boston lost to the Knicks because in the first two games they flat out had them beat and lost the game, and now the Knicks are down 1-0 because they flat out had the Pacers beat and lost the game. I mean, isn't it crazy?
This whole playoffs has been like that.
It even seemed last night, OKC, had their lead cut to like 10 with like 4 minutes left, and it had been, a lead around, 18 to 20 points. And it's like, oh my gosh, is this going to happen again?
Yeah,
and
I had to watch to
and
the
to the
end.
Thunder's credit, they then knocked them out and won comfortably. But yeah, I mean, it's been about as unpredictable a tournament as you'll see.
Yeah, all right, let's take a break. Let's bring it back to NFL and regrettably probably some NHL when we bring in our friend Pete Prisco. That's next. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
In the jungle, the only way a lion survives, not by acting like a king, by being the king.
1010XL.
On Memorial Day, all of us at Harold and Harold join you and our community to pause and remember the sacrifice that fallen heroes made for this country and honor them for all they have given us. Offices, Jacksonville. An out-of-town lawyer could rent space and say they have an office here, but how does that help you after an accident? Harold and Harold is here for nearly 40 years, and we have the local relationships you need if you've been injured. Call Harold and Harold today. Offices, Jacksonville.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Homeowners, storms don't wait, so why should you? Protect your home and your wallet with Universal Roof and Contracting. Save 15% on roof replacements and repairs now through May 31st. Financing is available with payments as low as $115. Call 855-ROOF-HELP for your free inspection. Universal Roof and Contracting, protecting your home, building your trust. License number CCC 057165, CBC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. This is Hayes Carline, and I'm so proud of my guy, Leon Searcy.
Man, I used to want to eat all the time, but just 1 month on Physician Guided Weight Loss, and I've already dropped 15 pounds.
And I lost 25. No side effects, just results.
The GLP-1 curbs my cravings and keeps me feeling full. It's been easier than I expected, and I feel amazing.
Their staff is great, and best of all, no surprise costs.
If you're ready to bring sexy back this summer, visit pgweightloss.com.
Physician Guided Weight Loss, safe, doctor supervised.
And it works. Yo, ET here, and I need you to beat the heat this summer with cool escapes and non-stop fun in Clay County. Tackle indoor adventures head on. Throw axes at Live by Axe or smash your stress away at Just Smash That. Then kick back with drinks, good food, and fandom vibes at Nakama Anime Bar or Leaderboard Arcade and Bar. Whether you're blowing off steam or just looking to chill, Clay County got your perfect indoor getaway. Find your pool at exploreclay.com. That's exploreclay.com.
Put the ball in the net with 60 minutes of soccer talk. The Coaches Show presented by Sporting Jacks. Cole Pepper, Sporting Jacks head of soccer Mark Warburton, and Sporting Jacks women's coach Stacey Baylor. Tuesday evenings at 6 on 1010 a.m.
Mia here for my friends at Closets by Design. It's been a few months since they built my custom closet. Even my family is obsessed. And with Father's Day right around the corner, why not surprise Dad with his own custom garage workspace? Tool storage, workbenches, the whole works. Closets by Design creates custom solutions for every space, lifestyle, and budget. That includes Dad's. Call to schedule your free in-home consultation and receive 40% off plus an additional 15% off. Visit closetsbydesign.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Bueller.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jason, I don't see how a new air conditioner is going to work out for me.
Well, you like air conditioning, right?
Oh, yeah, totally. But a new air conditioner could be expensive.
Well, not if you...
I mean, to save up the money, I probably have to give up my extra hot skim latte every morning. Now I fall asleep during a staff meeting, get volunteered for the summer picnic committee, and end up sitting in the dunk tank all afternoon getting water up my nose.
Okay, look at it this way. Put on these sunglasses. Whoa. Bueller Air and Plumbing puts in a new AC. We hook you up with affordable financing, and you stay cool and comfortable for just $149 a month. Cool?
Cool. I see it now.
Life can be hard on your budget. If you suffer through the heat because of a broken AC you could totally afford to replace, you could visit.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Denny Thompson here. You gotta check out Tyson's Showroom Home Theater with surround sound and comfy theater chairs. You can transform your living room into a cinematic experience. I can stay there to watch all my games. It's that comfortable. Call Tyson today and bring the theater experience home. Tyson Sound and Security, your security, home theater, and home automation experts. New showroom at 3555 U.S. Highway 17 in Fleming, Iowa.
Lauren Brooks here for Terminix. Did you know that mosquito bites could lead to heartworms for your dog or cat? When mosquitoes show up, pet parents want them gone. Terminix takes mosquitoes down fast, just like they did at my house for our pup. Terminix knows that pets are part of the family. They do what it takes to help protect them. When mosquitoes show up, so does Terminix. Don't live with a mosquito problem, Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm RJ Saunders for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. The Jacksonville Jaguars have one Monday night game on their schedule this season against the Kansas City Chiefs. NFL VP of Broadcast Scheduling Mike North joined JP Shadrick and spoke on why the decision to make the matchup a nationally televised event.
And it's interesting, we actually had KC Jacksonville penciled in before the draft. And then when, the organization makes the move that it does aggressively to go get the Heisman Trophy winner, I think fans are going to be really intrigued to see, is he going to play both ways? Can he do it at this level? Can Trevor come back and be healthy? An opportunity for the team.
Currently 94 degrees at 5:02. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Time for all things Jaguars and NFL with Pete Prisco. The Prisco Report, presented by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Showtime.
On the Frangie Show.
We thank our friends from Showtime. Head there for all the best collectibles. I mean, if you want collectibles, nobody, and I mean nobody, does a better job than my friends from Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're located on Phillips Highway right at the end of Shad Road. Big store, open store. You'll love the people in there. Some of the nicest folks you'll ever meet. And I don't care who it is you root for. Trust me when I tell you they've got stuff there, memorabilia that you're going to want. You're going to want it. So get in there to Showtime. Frank Frangie, Hayes Carl, and JJ LaSella. Let's bring in my buddy Pete Prisco of CBS Sports. Hey, Pete, I need a favor. Can you do me a favor? I need one favor.
What's that?
Well, we're talking about these Knicks, right? And Jalen Brunson, I think he plays for him now, and I think Carmelo or somebody played for him. Would you share with my friends the greatness of Walt Frazier, Dick Barnett, Dave DeBusschere, Bill Bradley, Willis Reed, Jerry Lucas? The floor is yours, please.
And don't forget about the Pearl, because he was on the second team.
Yes, he was. Please take it now, if you would, please.
Oh my God! I mean, that was one of the great teams of all time. The way they moved the basketball. I mean, they were little when you look at them. They weren't very big, but boy, they could move the ball. And there's a documentary out on that team. I don't know if you've seen it, but the second team was actually better than the first team.
Because Monroe was there. Monroe was on the second team.
Yeah, Monroe was, and Jerry Lucas was, and
Right.
They were a better team. So yeah. But the way they moved the ball, and the best story about that I remember from when I was a kid, because I'm not as old as you, Frank, but I was only 9 when they won that year, and I was in bed, because the game was late. It was at LA, and I'm in bed upstairs We were living in Pennsylvania at the time, and all of a sudden I hear, "Ah!" And I'm like, oh, my God, what happened? I ran down to the basement, and my dad, Jerry West, had just made the shot, and he was screaming. And he let me stay up and watch overtime. And people forget the Knicks actually won that game in overtime.
Yeah, and those were great Knicks. We're talking about the Knicks. See there, I just need an old guy like he's not as old as me, Hayes, but he's closing in on me. Okay, just so you know that he's making up ground. So there's that. All right, we'll get to the NFL now, and we'll let you talk hockey at the end. But let me start with the NFL. Hey, Pete, what will be the national? We just had this conversation a minute ago. Now that Travis Hunter's here and there's a new regime here, we're all excited. You are, because you know this team well. We are because we live here and we root for them. What will be the national perception of the Jags? Still got to prove it before people will believe it. I know that, but give me big picture. What do people think right now of where this team is?
Well, they're now, because Travis Hunter is there, they're now more of a national story. And I'll give you an example. You know, I was talking to one of our guys in the office. And he said, "Oh, you probably go up there with a camera this year when you go into training camp and hang out for a while." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And they go, "Well, Travis Hunter's there." And so, yeah, they're more relevant as it relates to being a national story. They still got to win games, you know that. But getting Travis Hunter, getting the regime change, getting Tony in there, I think there's a lot of people around the league that are looking at it and going, "Okay, this seems to work, and it has a chance to really work." You know, Gladstone's done some great things, I think, early in his tenure. Young, aggressive, you know, smart. And I think, you know, with Tony being in there, a lot of guys around the league know him. So I think it seems to be working so far. But again, until you start playing for real, you know, it's all just lip service anyway.
What were your big takeaways from the NFL owners' meetings and the votes that went either yay or nay?
I was surprised by tush push, to be honest with you, because there was a real strong, you know, push from the league office to get it out, and it didn't get out. And I was a little surprised by that, because usually when Roger Goodell wants to get something out, he's going to get something out, particularly when it's only the owners. But it didn't happen. I was a little surprised by that. You know, the playoff thing, we talked about that. I like divisions. I think, you know, you got to hold on to some of those rivalries, and you got to hold on. And I know people say, well, Jacksonville was in the other division way back in the day, and they built rivalries now. But I still think you got to hold on to like the Giants and you know the Commanders and the Eagles and the Giants and the Cowboys and the Commanders. I just think that, you know, it makes sense to hold on to the divisions. I don't want to give that up.
Pete Prisco talking NFL football with us. Any more? Is Aaron Rodgers playing? Is anybody else out there that's playing? Are there any personnel stories left now as we get close to June here when everybody gets close to breaking for the summer? Any stories left, Pete?
I think the only stories left are is Rodgers going to play, and is Jalen Ramsey going to be traded, and when is he going to be traded, and who's he going to be traded to, and for what? I think those are the two stories out there. I mean, there's still some guys on the market, some veterans that, you know, will spot in right before training camp, but I think for the most part, those are the major stories. And, you know, the Jalen Ramsey one is interesting. The Dolphins painted themselves into a corner. What do you do now? How do you trade him? And what are you going to get for him when everybody in the whole league knows you're trying to get rid of him and you have to get rid of him? So I think those are the two. You know, the Steelers, to me, it's interesting because if they don't have Aaron Rodgers, they're in a big bunch of trouble. I mean, seriously, if they're going to play the whole season with Mason Rudolph, you have all kinds of problems. Now, Will Howard's there. But, again, is the rookie quarterback drafted the 6th round? Is he going to step in and be the guy? So I think the Steelers have to hope like heck that Aaron Rodgers decides to play.
Is Plan B Kirk Cousins maybe working out a trade with Atlanta?
You know, that go back to that Atlanta situation. There's a lot of really bad blood there with the Falcons and Kirk Cousins. Remember, he called them out last year or after the season, said they hit it. They didn't say how forthcoming they were with his injury, made them look bad. They can hold on to him. And right now, the intention is they will hold on to him. I think what they're doing in the back of their mind is, because you don't want him there when you're trying to build a young quarterback's confidence and let him be the starter. You want him having him in the room. So I think they're going to try and wait until, either the Steelers get desperate and offer them something, you know, to really wow them, or B, wait till somebody goes down in training camp and hope like heck or preseason they can get something for him back that way.
Where do you think, by the way, but before we even get to the plan B, where do you think those two stories are going to land? Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Ramsey. Yes or no on Rodgers, and give me a team or teams for Jalen.
I think Rodgers is going to play. I just think he's avoiding the OTAs and everything. But you know what, though, Frank? If if he's going to play, he should do it before the minicamp. I mean, not that he can't go in. He's a veteran. He knows how to learn. He'll be fine. But I just think you need to get to know your receivers. You get to know your teammates. So I think he'd have to make a decision before the minicamp, which is in a couple weeks. And Ramsey, you hear these, a lot of teams, they want the Dolphins to eat a lot of that salary. And so it becomes, will the Dolphins be willing to eat a lot of that before they make any move? And I think that's the thing that's holding it up right now.
In terms of flag football in the Olympics, what, if any, NFL presence do you think we'll actually see now that the owners have said, yes, we're going to allow players to do this if they'd like?
It's really stupid if anybody lets any stars play in that. And, everybody says, well, you can get hurt doing anything. I know, but why even open yourself up to something like that? Plus, the Olympics are in what, July and August? You're going to be playing in that when you're supposed to get ready for training camp? I don't think, the stars all came out. Justin Jefferson, I want to play. The stars say that. The reality is I doubt that any of them will play. That's just my gut feeling. And we all remember Robert Edwards. Remember Robert Edwards?
I do.
He tore up his knee. Now, that was in sand, but he tore up his knee playing in a meaningless game, exhibition type thing at the Pro Bowl one year. So I don't think you're going to see veterans playing it. Can you imagine, and I joked around about this. Here you got the podium, the American at the gold medal podium, Great Britain, and over here at Germany for the silver and the bronze. And you got, Justin Jefferson limping onto the podium with his torn up knee. Give me a break. That ain't happening. So I can't imagine. By the way, do they really need those guys to win a gold medal?
Yeah. I once they said they were going to allow NFL players, I'm going to go ahead and predict us to win the gold. I think we can beat Lithuania in the finals, Pete. I think we're good.
Frank, you could go get a bunch of high school kids that play 7-on-7, and they're going to win the gold medal.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, before we let you go, very Panther confidence. Very confident in your Florida Panthers.
This is one of the all-time great hockey teams we've seen, and I'm serious. I'm dead serious about it. I'm not just saying that because I'm a fan of them. I mean, when you go on the road and do what you did to Carolina, the way you've done it the last 2 weeks, think about this. In the last 4 road games, counting 2 at Toronto where they scored 6 and 6, and then they scored 5 last night and 6 the night before. They've scored 6, 18, 23 goals in 4 road games. Come on. They're one of the great teams of all time. If they don't win it, something major happened. And by the way, something major might have happened last night because Reinhardt, one of their best players, got taken out in a cheap shot and might be out for a little while.
Our hockey expert, Pete Prisco, he's so happy. He can tell how happy he is with his Panthers. He's so very happy. Pete Prisco checking in, talking NFL and more. With when are you going to Aruba? What's the plan? You leaving? What are you doing?
In July.
Okay.
Bahamas. We went to the Bahamas last 2 weeks ago, and then we're going to Aruba in July.
All right.
July, late June.
Pete, we'll see you. Take care, buddy.
By the way, I'll be there for minicamp. So.
Okay, good. I know you will. You'll be here. Of course you will, and that'll be good.
Yeah. I'll see you guys then for sure.
We'll
all right, guys.
Thanks.
Talk to you next week.
Pete Prisco will be here with us next week, and then he'll be here for minicamp. That'll be awesome. Pete Prisco checking in from CBSSports.com. We got headlines on the other side. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
1010XL puts the ball in play-by-play.
Kick on the way.
Impeccable today.
From way downtown. That ball's ripped.
For play-by-play, it's 1010XL.
This is Hayes Carline for Atlantic Infinity. If you're shopping for a new ride, you've got to check out Atlantic Infinity. Not only do you get a luxury vehicle, you also get the Atlantic Infinity Promise, free with every new car. That's almost $2,500 in added value just for buying smarter, and you don't have to sweat it out on the lot. Shop in their indoor, climate-controlled showroom. It's cool, comfortable, and hassle-free. They're on Atlantic near St. John's Bluff, or browse anytime at AtlanticInfinity.com.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in a hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked-on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast orthopedic specialist performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast orthopedic specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast orthopedic specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast orthopedic specialists.
It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the window's down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Neck pain, back pain, or headache. Shinatri Chiropractic has 4 locations: Westside, 103rd, Riverside, Arlington, and the Beaches. Acupuncture, dry needling, physical therapy. Relief starts today. Shinatri Chiropractic, 743-6700.
Sometimes you agree with him, sometimes you don't.
On the runway, I'm coming in hot.
CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco joins the Frangie Show Friday afternoons on 1010XL. Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
Rick Ballou for Coy Dental. That's right, Carlson Dental is now Coy Dental. Dr. Lee has been practicing there for 9 years, has purchased the company. The Coy Dental team still has the same great dentist and staff. And remember, if you get nervous visiting a dentist, don't. There's never a problem at Coy Dental, with light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation for all your restorative needs. Coy Dental, 2 locations in Jacksonville.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this weekend at the newly renovated 5-Star Ballpark. Join us tonight on Red Shirt Friday for fireworks and free hats to the first 2,000 fans through the main gate, all courtesy of UF Health. Then it's our first Honey Drippers weekend with fireworks Saturday and Sunday. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, affordable family fun.
Coatings, your floor's missing piece. Premium flooring, take our advice. Home business, affordable price. Driveways, pool decks, garage doors, beautiful patios, and more to explore. Checkmate Coatings, your floor's missing piece.
Skilled trade jobs are booming, so begin your high-pay, high-demand career today through the Northeast Florida Builders Association. Their apprenticeship program provides paid training in some of the most highly sought-after skilled trades. Get paid while you train full-time in carpentry, electrical, HVAC, or plumbing. Plus, earn a 10% raise every year, and the classes are 100% tuition-free. Start your new career today and apply this week at nefpaapprenticeship.org.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Get
Hayes' Headlines, presented by Harrell and Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hayes Carline.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got JJ LaSelva. I'm Hayes Carline. Thank you to our friends at Harrell and Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. Frank, the Jaguars tweeted this out earlier today. Kind of interesting. Liam Cohen welcomed Florida coach Billy Napier to Jaguars practice today.
Yeah, they were. And I don't know if Billy was giving them offensive advice. I don't know. There was no word.
Yeah. Hopefully that was the other way around.
Do they do this thing, the pointing thing? If you see the Jaguars doing this, I got a concern.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And if you're listening on radio, I'm pointing outwardly because that's what Florida does before every snap, and I don't know what this is.
Right.
Billy's a good guy. So
he is a good guy. Hopefully, Liam.
This, pointing out.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't like, hey, Heath Farwell, come over here and Billy's going to teach you how to efficiently run your special teams unit. But yeah, cool seeing Billy Napier out there with the Jaguars, and who knows, maybe we'll have some Gators from this roster that will end up being Jaguars. No first round pick, but maybe in the second round. It seems like Florida in this coming draft will certainly have candidates that could be in that second round range when the Jaguars select.
That's right. And I will say this: the Gators have not been very prominent in the first part of the NFL draft for a while now. I think that's going to change.
Yes,
I really do believe that. I think they have dudes They have dudes in volume for the first time in a while.
You had to get excited last night seeing the picture of DJ Lagway at the Rose Bowl with Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
That's for the EA Sports video game for the cover. But it wasn't hard.
It was good company.
It was good company. And it wasn't hard to start imagining those three players all wearing the orange and blue next season.
Yeah, can we get them? Is it too late for the portal this year?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Okay.
It does make me wonder, not to get too far off as an aside here, but will you start to see super teams in college football? Because these guys are all going to make so much money in their first 2 years on campus.
Right.
Do you just say, well, I've already made $6 million. I want to win. And not that obviously Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams are at programs where you can win, but if you're really tight with an elite quarterback, will we see that? I'm not necessarily saying it'll be Lagway and the Gators, reaping the rewards of that. But it will be interesting, I think, to see. Do you see that NBA super team kind of start to come into play with the stars of college football?
That's a great question because, what we don't know is with all the money available and the movement being so amazing to this point, what will happen to the movement? I know that college football and college basketball officials are hoping that the House settlement, the new College Sports Commission, all of this will dial back the movement some. But to your point, I'm not sure it's going to. I think once it's out of the barn, it's out of the barn.
I thought the House settlement would stabilize things, and I have zero confidence that will happen.
It certainly hasn't yet.
Yeah, and that's if it even happens.
I'll say this.
It's still not even a done deal. The judge could still say, nope, I don't agree to this.
But I'll say this. The belief that the House settlement is coming hasn't slowed it, has it?
No.
That certainly hasn't, so we'll see.
Let's get to the NFL. Jim Irsay will be formally succeeded by daughter Carly Irsay Gordon. So Irsay has 3 daughters, but Carly will be the one that it seems like will be the primary voice when it comes to ownership for the Indianapolis franchise.
And I'm going to guess, Hayes, that's been happening. Jim, God rest his soul, before his death this week, from all the accounts you hear, had not been in good health. So I have to believe a transition plan of sorts had been in place, and probably not all that recently. So I would think she is prepared and has waited for a long time for this, but is as prepared as she can be to run that organization.
Yeah, I would agree. Let's get into college basketball. Matthew Driscoll says goodbye to UNF after a 16-year run in an emotional press conference earlier today.
Yeah, I think he earned. It's kind of funny. He was very I say funny. It was a long press conference. He spoke for a long time, even before he took questions. And then he was very emotional at the end of it. I mean, extremely emotional. I think because of the years, because of the way he has treated people, the relationship between he and members of the media, members of their alumni base, former players, I think you could tell how genuine it was. I think it was good. I think it was, for other coaches, being that emotional might have been awkward. And it might have been awkward watching it. It wasn't with Matthew. I was there. I was there for the whole thing, and it was a good moment. It was a good moment. A man that was very respected, as he should have been here in Jacksonville, going out on his terms. And it was a neat day. I was glad to be on the campus in attendance.
Let's get to the NBA. Oklahoma City takes a 2-0 lead on Minnesota with a drama-free 118-103 win last night. MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the Thunder with 38 points, 8 assists, and 3 steals.
Yeah, he certainly validated that MVP, didn't he? He gave him juice, I think he said, and you could really look. They're the best team. They were the best team all year for a reason, and they're playing like it right now.
The Pacers try to take a 2-0 lead on the Knicks tonight in Madison Square Garden. What happens to the Knicks tonight?
I thought they'd win the other night, and I'm going to predict they win again tonight. Obviously, if you lose tonight, it's over. There's no debating it. We said that about Boston. Boston lost 2 in a row. People thought, well, I still think they're going to come back and win the series, and they didn't come close to coming back and winning the series. So, yeah, I think if the Knicks lose tonight, it's over, but I think the Knicks are going to win tonight.
JJ, who you got?
Yeah, I think the Knicks are going to win tonight. I picked the Pacers to win the series, so I always thought they were going to split these 2 games, but like Frank said, they're going to be up against the wall. They know they have to win, and the Pacers know they don't have to.
Right. Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm with you guys. I think that's probably how it plays out, but it'll be a fun game to watch. Let's get to Major League Baseball. Ronald Acuna expected to make his debut tonight for the Braves, nearly a year removed from an ACL injury.
I'll go first here, JJ. I'll say this. JJ's more emotionally tied to all this because he's a diehard Braves fan, as Gibby and others in our building are. I'll tip my cap, joking aside, I'll tip my cap to the Braves. They started freaking 0-7, and everybody was hurt. And they never buckled. You know, they never. JJ, I got the impression that nobody flinched. They knew at some point Strider's coming back. They knew at some point Acuna's coming back. Olsen's going to hit. Riley's going to hit.
Olsen's definitely hitting now.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? I think
everyone else isn't though. Yeah, I mean, they're still really struggling. No. They lost 2 to the Nats. Yeah. They're not good right now. No. But so hopefully this does spark something in the rest of the team.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. And again, I told you I watched the Pirates beat them 2 out of 3. Yeah. I thought should have swept them, right. and walked away thinking, man, JJ was right. They don't hit much. But you look up, and this 0-7 team is suddenly over 500 and playing pretty well. There's something to knowing how to win. There's something to having a winning culture and winning expectations, and I think the Atlanta Braves have that.
JJ, what were your thoughts on how the Braves managed the game last night?
Terrible. Once again by Snicker. I mean, like, stuff you don't see in high school. You know, like a guy is struggling so bad the whole game. The Braves finally get back into it and tie the game, and they send him back out. And then he realizes, I shouldn't have done that. And in the middle of an at-bat, when he's 2-0 on the hitter, he takes the pitcher out. Like, the bunting at the terrible time, you're putting a guy in a pinch run, you're doing too much. Like, they're sending guys from third when they shouldn't have. They should have had a guy on third base with 1 out, tied in the 9th last night. Instead, they lose the game. It's just mismanaged all around. It's so bad by Snicker, man. Like, he has to clean it up.
So Hayes was surprised by your answer, apparently. So apparently he does not agree with how they managed the game last night. Hayes. So that's my take my assessment of JJ's
and
take.
They lost.
He is not a fan. I saw JJ tweet something last night and belly laughed and made a note that we got to tee him up on that tomorrow. Right. Yeah, absolutely. Frank, now it's your turn.
Yes.
Pirates GM Ben Sherrington says Paul Skeens will not be traded.
Yeah, well, I will say this. I think by the end of the year, Ben Sherrington's not going to have much to say about it. Okay. I don't think he's going to. I don't sense that Ben's going to be participating in that question come September. But I think go figure. You got the best pitcher in baseball, and we're not going to trade him. What an impactful statement that was from the soon-to-be outgoing GM.
Talk about a GM who's hamstrung by the owners.
Yeah, well,
wow.
And there's no
Pirates GM.
And I've said this. They fired the manager. The manager had no chance. They're going to fire the GM. The GM didn't have much of a chance, but he has been awful. I mean, he's not. The owner's the reason they lose, but the GM hasn't been very good.
Yeah, and but the streak is over.
Oh.
Tell us all about it.
Celebration, so if the question is, what kind? And you have to think through this when you think about all the people you know. Think about a lot of people. JJ, you know a lot of people. What kind of a dumbass do you have to be watching after the 2-hour rain delay? Okay.
Wow.
After the 2-hour rain delay, when they resume at 10:02. Okay. What kind of a lifeless piece of whatever do you have to be watching at 10:02?
Well, you guys were winning though,
okay.
Right?
No, we were losing.
Oh,
okay. And so watch. Okay. And I'm not making this up. So help me, I'm not. I'll bet you there weren't 1,000 people there.
Wow.
I'll bet you there weren't. If you go back and watch the video, if you can, if you're really bored, and but so at least I can root for the streak to continue. 8-3 going to the ninth. 2 meaningless runs. We ruined the streak. We even ruined the streak. That's how pathetic the Pittsburgh Pirates are. Just so you know.
It was fun.
So that's where I am on it, Hayes, in case you want to know.
It was fun while it lasted. Well, at least neither of you are Colorado Rockies fans. The Rockies are 8-42 through 50 games.
How about that?
It's the worst start in the big leagues since the Louisville Colonels went 7-43 to start the 1895 season.
Yeah. Wow. Well, and think about this. Think about this for a second. I watch every inning of the Pirates. They are a truly terrible team. It's the worst with a bar as low as it can be. It's the worst Pirates team I've seen in probably 20 years. Okay, even with Skeens, and they've won twice as many games as the Rockies. How bad must the Rockies be? I haven't watched, but how bad?
They beat the Braves once.
Yeah. I mean, how bad must they be? Really?
It's amazing. The Chicago White Sox set the modern era record for futility with 121 losses last season. Colorado is on pace to lose 136 games.
Yeah, and you pointed out a couple days ago in headlines that they've scored more runs than the Pittsburgh Pirates, by the way. Just so you know, okay, just so you know that.
By a pretty good bit.
To be fair, they do play at Coors.
Yes.
Oh, they do. Anyway.
In college baseball, JU's still fighting in the A-Sun tourney. The Dolphins walk off North Alabama 3-2 earlier today to advance.
Yeah, you know what? It's an uphill climb because Stetson and Austin Peay are really good. Austin Peay beat JU 9-1 yesterday. But I tell you what, Chris Hayes' teams are gutty. They're going to make the Final Four of that thing. You win that thing, you get in. They're not going to back down. They've had a good year. Losing all the players they lost, they've had a good year at JU, and they're still alive, and they battled back. I got a great pitching performance from their left-hander. I don't remember his name. The guy that started the game was really good for them today. And so JU stays alive. Good for the Dolphins.
In the NHL, defending Stanley Cup champion Florida destroys Carolina again, 5-0 to take a 2-0 lead in the East Final with the series now headed to Sunrise. The Panthers have outscored the Hurricanes 10-2 so far in the series.
Pete made this point. I really don't. I mean, we joke about it a lot. I don't watch it. I know you do because Gene, your wife's a big Panthers fan. I know Pete has become one because he lives down there. But what Pete said might really be true, I guess. And again, I know so little about it. This might be one of the best hockey teams
ever,
in for a long time at the very least, right?
Yeah, he was a little off on the stat, but they've won their last 4 road games by a combined score of 22-4.
I mean, that's hockey. That's
right.
National Hockey League hockey.
I mean,
22-4.
Right, and we're talking about conference semifinal and conference final. So, I mean, not even in the first round of the tournament. And I don't understand it. I don't know why they're as dominant as they are. But I mean, it's like you blink and they go up 3-0 almost immediately, at least in this series. So we'll see if it continues. But 2-0 lead going back home. Looks like Florida headed back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Let's get it to currency. I don't think we've ever currency.
You're telling me currency's making headlines?
Breaking new ground
on a Friday afternoon on the first
ready to go on vacation.
Yes,
so let's
love to have
do
some
something
currency.
new. How about that?
Love
So
currency.
Wow. The penny is going away. I don't know if you saw this story. The government is announcing they will end production on the penny once the last materials are used. So very soon there will no longer be pennies being produced in this country.
That's not true.
It is
You're
true.
making that up.
I'm not making it up.
I've always heard they were going to do this for like the last 30 years.
How do you get rid of the? It's the only copper one we got.
Yeah, the penny
is copper.
It's going away, and but if you're thinking, well, I'm going to start saving my pennies, because they'll be collectibles.
Sure.
There are 114 billion pennies in circulation right now, so I don't think they're going to have any extra value when they're no longer.
And that only
maybe in 150 years. But
let me just say this: when Carline leans into the research, there's no telling what you're getting. I don't want penny. I can't tell you the last time I've used a penny, but I don't think it should go away.
See, it upsets.
I think the penny's a piece of Americana.
Yeah, I agree.
What about nickels? Are nickels good still?
Nickels are good for now.
Okay.
But this is what
nickels are, because they got the smooth edge.
Yeah.
See, dimes got the rigid edge. I
Right.
can live without the dimes. I don't like the ridges.
Yeah.
But nickels are smooth. But that's the only. We're losing copper. Who doesn't love copper? I love copper.
I know.
Very bothered by this.
I was very bothered too as a child of the 80s. It makes me sad because generations from now, some kid is going to hear Madonna's Material Girl and be like, when she says, only boys that save their pennies make my rainy day, and you're not going to know what a penny is.
Wait, so you tell me I can never again say, hey, penny for your thoughts?
Exactly.
That's over?
That's
over forever? Another generation won't understand
They
what that
won't
meant?
know what that is because they won't have had the penny.
It's happened in our world.
It's amazing, isn't it? I thought
first of all,
I thought we had to bring this up.
Let me just say this. It's my last day before vacation. I was all excited. Now I got to go on vacation knowing this? Wow.
Well, now you've got something to talk to Suzanne about, on the plane.
It's how enthralling.
You know what? It's a good point.
It's always good to have something, a card to throw out there.
Good point.
Yeah.
Hey, Suzanne.
When it gets quiet
Hey,
at
Suzanne,
dinner.
I still think they're going to use Travis Hunter in the slot. But if that doesn't interest you, how do you feel about the penny?
Feel about the penny
You've
going
just
away.
heightened our you've helped the relationship.
I'm here to help. This may help as well, but probably not for you and Suzanne, but maybe for somebody else out there. Let's get into pop culture. Marvel has postponed the release of Avengers Doomsday for 7 months. The movie, starring Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom, will now be released on December 18th, 2026.
Why is that, by the way?
I don't know.
Because I don't know the Marvel
My guess
world.
is they had editing or something. It can be a sign that the movie isn't going as they'd hoped. But there's so much. They've done such a good job with this, and they've got Downey now playing a role. He was Iron Man, obviously, for so long, and now he's playing another iconic character, but a villain in the same kind of universe. So anyway, this is a movie that'll make $1 billion. And so if you're excited about Avengers Doomsday, I'm sorry, but December 18th of next year, you're going to have to wait 7 extra months.
Well, Downey's no longer Iron Man.
Correct.
Will he still have Gwyneth Paltrow as his assistant?
I wouldn't think.
What was her name?
Pepper Potts.
Yeah, I really like.
She's fantastic.
I really like that.
Yeah, that was great casting.
That's my comment.
She's your favorite Avenger
of all the Marvel world. That's kind of where I am.
Yeah, that's a good place to be. We'll get you out on our musical note of the day. Sending our thoughts to Billy Joel today as the iconic musician announced the cancellation of 17 concerts as he battles a brain disorder. The 76-year-old Joel has sold over 160 million albums worldwide. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 1999. It's still rock and roll to me, and we look forward to more rock and roll from Joel after his recovery.
Yeah, I'll say this, and I don't know how serious it is, Hayes. I've seen Billy Joel double-digit times. I've seen him in the Garden. I've been very blessed to see him. But, man, it would make me sad if Billy Joel couldn't perform anymore. You know that? I mean, it really would. I hope this is...
It sounds like this is something he will recover from and be able to get back.
I really hope so. I mean, there's nothing... A Billy Joel concert is pretty spectacular. It really is. Well done, as always.
Thanks.
We'll wrap the program after this.
The Miracle Mile. Nowadays you can't be too sentimental. Your best bet's true, baby blue continental. Hot funk, cool punk, even if it's old junk.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The latest odds for the NBA championship, the Oklahoma City Thunder now up 2-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves are minus 325 to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Indiana Pacers are plus 600, the New York Knicks plus 800, Minnesota down 0-2 plus 1900. NHL, the Florida Panthers, the betting favorite to win the Stanley Cup. They're up 2-0 on the Carolina Hurricanes. Panthers are plus 120. Dallas plus 200. Edmonton plus 350. And Carolina plus 1100. NASCAR Sunday running its longest race of the season, the Coca-Cola 600. Kyle Larson, who's attempting both the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 in the same day, is plus 500 to take the checkered flag in Charlotte. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Oh, no. No.
You okay in there?
Toilet's backed up. It won't flush.
Okay, I'll call the pros.
The tank isn't filling. The handle does nothing. Run for your life.
Don't be so dramatic. Duck Duck Rooter will fix it.
For any plumbing issue, call Duck Duck Rooter, your local plumbing professionals and proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. DuckDuckRooter.com.
When you're stuck, call the Duck. 904-862-6769.
Hi, it's Frank Frangie. Look, when it comes to glass, there's one name I trust, and that's Lee Encased Glass. mirrors, custom showers, tabletops, even foggy glass windows. They handle all that. And they've been doing it right since long before I ever picked up a mic. Local, family-owned, and part of this community, just like we are. They've taken great care of me, including our brand-new walk-off offices. Guys, they did a great job, and I promise they'll do the same for you. Lee & Kate's is the clear choice. Check them out at leeandkatesglass.com.
On Memorial Day, all of us at Harrell & Harrell join you and our community to pause and remember the sacrifice that fallen heroes made for this country and honor them for all they have given us. Offices, Jacksonville. An out-of-town lawyer could rent space and say they have an office here, but how does that help you after an accident? Harrell & Harrell is here for nearly 40 years, and we have the local relationships you need if you've been injured. Call Harrell & Harrell today. Offices, Jacksonville.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with prices that don't break the bank and our wow ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing to provide you with a peace of mind. You better beat the surge and head to the all-new Beaver Toyota or Chevrolet for the car buying experience you deserve.
Soft takes are boring. That's why I dropped the hammer on the Frangie Show. I'm Hayes Carlion. Listen for Hammer Time with Hayes, weekday afternoons on 1010XL.
Driven by Southside Kia.
For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Get a healthy start in 2025. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to encourage you to get healthy and stay healthy this year. They have a dedicated team who are committed to providing quality care. The goal is to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Visit duval.floridahealth.gov to learn more about their health programs and services. That's duval.floridahealth.gov.
North Florida is growing with lots of new families joining our community. If you're one of them making the move here, your next move should be a call to American Electrical to create the best home automation system, enhancing your living experience. There are many ways your life can be made easier through smart home technology, voice-activated systems, automated lighting, total house temperature control. With American Electrical, they've got everything you need to automate your home and make it your true oasis. Check out American-Electrical.com, powered by professionalism and raising the excellence bar.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out The Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At The Y summer camps, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Prosser here. It's a great time to sell your home, and I got just the people to sell it for you. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down, activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though. Hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize your hassle, that's the key. And I've been telling you who those experts are. Are you listening? I recommend Chad and Sandy Newman. Go to chadandsandy.com, the local real estate experts you can trust with the sale of your home. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. So whatever problems you think you have, I've got you this promise. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. There you go. Simple as that. Christopher on Anastasia Island. My home was too big for my needs. I wanted someplace smaller and easier to manage. I got multiple offers and sold in 3 days with Chad and Sandy. You can too at chadandsandy.com or 904-414-6200.
Swing into the hottest party of the summer. Join First T-Door Florida at the Yards on June 12th for the Summer Soiree Baja Beach Bash. We're bringing the vibrant spirit of Cabo San Lucas to the First Coast for an evening of family-friendly fun. Enjoy live music, craft cocktails, golf games, raffle prizes, and delicious Mexican-inspired cuisine from Taco Lu. golf, fiesta, and philanthropy, all to support the impactful programs of the First Tee. Visit firstteenorthflorida.org/summer soiree to secure your tickets today.
You've got a lot on your plate. The last thing you need is car trouble. At Maxie's Mechanics, we help you keep your cars, trucks, and SUVs running safely. Visit MaxieAutoRepair.com today for honest service, reliable repairs, and peace of mind for you and your family.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the Cool Down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, where we've been today on the program, we talked about our friend Matthew Driscoll and his press conference, about an hour-long press conference, but he was emotional, and he's earned the right to be emotional. Good dude. He's on his way to Kansas State to be an associate head coach under Jerome Tang, and he's going to do a great job. It was an emotional press conference as he said goodbye after 16 years as the coach at UNF. We talked a little NBA today on the program. Pete Prisco stopped by, and we talked a little NFL and hockey. Mike Fleming, Brigadier General Mike Fleming, was by to talk about that terrific Firewatch program as they try and make a difference in the lives of many former military and try to avoid military suicide, which is certainly a problem in our country, and they're certainly making a dent, and we appreciate them doing that. We didn't get to this today, JJ, but Mike Trout right now has 1,667 hits. Mookie Betts has 1,663 hits. Do you know that?
Oh, wow.
They're 4 hits apart. Trout is a 297 career hitter. Betts is a 293 career hitter. But way in the power department, Trout way ahead, 387 to 279. They compared, the story in ESPN compared will Mookie Betts pass Trout as the best player of the generation. I agree with JJ. I don't think that he will. Although I think Betts is a really good player, by the way. But I don't think he will. 11 All-Stars appearances for Trout, 8 for Betts. But it did make me wonder, will a future generation not even know who Mike Trout was? I guess that's the point. And that's
sadly probably.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you're like a real baseball fan. But I think it's funny because Mookie's the third best player on his own team right now, to me.
Well,
you know, like obviously Ohtani is the best player in baseball when he's pitching. And then Freddie, to me, is still a better hitter than Mookie Betts. But Mookie, plays every position, and he went from like the infield to the outfield, back to the infield. So, I see why they're bringing him up in this argument. But to me, I think he's the third best player on the team.
I don't think that. I think Freddie Freeman, by the way, is a really good player and a really good hitter. And probably still didn't quite get his due, but I don't think he's a better player, in my opinion, than Mookie Betts. But I've always loved Mookie Betts. I will still say, of all the stupid moves my team has made over the years, of all the just incredibly stupid moves, the Boston Red Sox letting Mookie Betts go is just incomprehensible. Just incomprehensible to me. In
his prime, man.
In his prime, but good teammate, willing to play whatever position. Great player.
Everybody loves him.
Right. But there's no doubt he's one of the great players of a generation. Whether he's the best or not is inconsequential to this conversation. So amazing stuff to me. So we'll see. By the way, I did ask you the TV market question. I'm gonna test you real quick here. Where do you think give me the markets as you give me, where do you think New York's 1, LA's 2, Chicago's 3. Those are easy. What do you think's 4th?
Houston.
Houston is 6. What's 4th?
Dallas.
Boston.
Dallas is 4th. Very good. What's 5th? So right now we know New York 1. This is according to the 25 Nielsen rankings. Those are TV markets. New York 1, LA 2, Chicago 3, Dallas 4. Houston, I just told you 6. Who's 5?
Boston.
Boston is 9.
Oh, wow.
I would have guessed high 2. What about JJ? Who's 5?
You already said LA. Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta's 7. I'll give it to you. Philadelphia's 5.
Oh, Philly.
Houston 6. Atlanta 7. Washington D.C. 8. Boston 9. San Francisco 10. I would have had Boston way higher. Do you know Tampa's 11?
Wow.
Whoa.
The Tampa St. Pete TV market is 11th. Did you know that Orlando's all the way up to 15th?
Wow.
Where was it?
Like where? That I don't know, but I know it wasn't 15 before.
Where's Waldo?
Where's Jacksonville? What's your guess?
22?
No. Nowhere near that.
Is it top 30?
It is not.
Dang.
Jacksonville is like 47.
Still?
Yeah. That's.
I thought it had like jumped significantly.
No, 40. Hang on, make sure I looked at that right. Yeah, 40. I think it's 47.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Has it gone back? Because I
No.
thought like 10 years ago it was like 42.
Let me make sure. I think I got that right. But
Hey, probably.
Where's Ocala?
It really makes it.
Where's Ocala? He said. I think about it. Jacksonville's 41. My bad.
Okay.
Oklahoma City's 47 because I said that earlier.
Oh, okay.
Jacksonville is 41.
Wow, so we're bigger than
gone up
OKC.
a little bit.
Yeah,
but-
we've gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
So there you go. Interesting. Yeah, we're bigger than Oklahoma City. And I looked that up just because of the teams that are still playing, because of the point we made earlier.
Well, and the other thing, too, is like I haven't thought about this since the pandemic, and like Tampa and Orlando jumping to those numbers made me think, well, maybe Jacksonville's gone from, low 40s to
Like people that moved here.
20s or something like that. So I guess not quite.
Yeah, so Jacksonville is now 41 is where Jacksonville is. So there you go. There's that. Let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
You'll know this because Prisco was on saying that this Panthers team is a team for the ages. Are they? Are they as good as the great teams?
They're 2 wins away from 3 straight Cup finals. Yeah, that's pretty tough. You got to look at the Islanders did when they won 4 in a row, and Edmonton
early 80s,
winning all of those. The Bruins in the early 70s, then the Flyers, and then the Montreal Canadiens. They're entering that, but this is a new league. That was prior salary cap days in the NHL. They're so good. They're so physical.
What's the stat you had, Hayes? 22-4?
Yeah, last 4 road games.
Yeah.
They've outscored the opposition 22-4.
They take away home ice. They're brilliant. And it's tough to believe they were down 2-0 to Toronto, but they're so fun to watch. And Carolina got no shots on goal. They had 3 shots in the first period. I mean, that is absolutely unheard of. It's like a Jaguars offense in the first quarter, going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out.
Right.
And they got big physical guys. And now when they added Brad Marchand, they got 3 Jack Tatums on the ice. And Sam Bennett and Kachuk and Marchand, they're filthy. They're rats. They're dirty. They're cheap. And you love that if you're a hockey fan.
That's hockey, right?
Florida's awesome. They're so fun to watch.
They're that good, huh?
Kind of secretly, because Boston's imploded. If you haven't heard, Boston's now a third world city.
I have.
They just give away Mookie Betts, and they just give away Taylor Sagans, and they give away Brad Marchands.
I also giving away Mookie Betts. It remains one of the dumbest things I've ever seen of all time.
It's
one of the
incredible.
dumbest of all time. One of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
But no, the Florida Panthers are, if you like good team athletics, they are so well coached, and they have 3 great scoring lines. Did heard that they lost Sam Reinhart last night. That'll be interesting to see with the knee if he's able to bounce back in Game 3. But they're a dominant hockey team.
A lot of hockey tonight coming up on the Balloon.
Tons of hockey. 2 hours worth of hockey tonight coming up.
Thank you, Rick Ballou, and that'll do it for our program. All right, I'm gone for a week.
Have a great time.
You guys have a good time. I will be back a week. Enjoy your Memorial Day, by the way, 3-day weekend. I will be back a week from Monday. We'll talk more Jaguars then, but you and Hacker have it held down. I know you'll do a terrific job along with JJ. Folks, that's our program. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou goes into the night right now. So long.